Welcome, little adventurers, to a magical story time. Today, we're hopping into a wonderful tale, all about friendship and sharing. Are you ready? Let's begin. In a land called Rabbit World, the morning sun painted the fields a beautiful shade of gold. A little rabbit named Benny hopped out of his burrow, stretching his long, fluffy ears in the warm sunshine. He wiggled his nose happily. Today was a very special day. It was Berry Day. This was the one day of the year when all the rabbits gathered to pick the sweetest, juiciest berries from the great patch. Benny couldn't wait. He grabbed his favorite wicker basket and hopped excitedly toward the patch, dreaming of all the delicious berry pies and jams they would make. Bed. He saw his friend Luna already there. Luna was a clever white rabbit with bright, curious eyes, but she wasn't smiling. Instead, her eyes were wide with surprise. "Benny," she said softly, her voice barely a whisper. "Look, the berry patch, ... It's empty." Benny's ears drooped. He looked around. Luna was right. All the berry bushes that were usually overflowing with red, ripe berries were completely bare. Not a single berry was left. How could this be? Berry Day was the biggest celebration in Rabbit World. Just then, their friend Momo came bouncing in. Momo was a chubby, cheerful rabbit who loved snacks more than anything. He sniffed the air with his twitching nose, expecting the sweet smell of berries. "No berries? No berries," he gasped, his round tummy rumbling in disappointment. "That's impossible. The berries were perfect yesterday." The three friends stood together, looking at the empty bushes. It was a mystery. Who could have taken all the berries, and why? The great patch was always left untouched until Berry Day. Benny, always brave, looked closer at the ground. "Look here," he said, pointing with his paw. In the soft dirt, there were tiny little paw prints, much smaller than their own. They weren't from any of the grown-up rabbits they knew. The trail of prints led away from the patch, heading toward the distant breezy hills. Luna, the clever one, knelt down to study the tracks. "They're very fresh," she announced, "and there are a lot of them. Whoever they are, they went this way." Momo nodded determinedly. "Well, what are we waiting for? Let's follow them and get our berries back." So, the three friends set off on an adventure. Benny led the way, feeling brave and determined. Luna kept her sharp eyes on the tiny paw prints, making sure they didn't lose the trail. And Momo, with his cheerful spirit, kept everyone smiling, telling silly jokes as they walked. Their journey wasn't easy. First, they had to cross a wobbly log bridge over a babbling brook. Benny went first, showing them it was safe. Next, they had to make their way through a field of tall clover that tickled their noses and made them sneeze. Momo found a patch of extra sweet clover to snack on, which lifted their spirits. After the clover field, they came to a series of rolling tunnels under the roots of a giant oak tree. It was dark inside, but Luna wasn't scared. She used her keen sense of direction to guide them through the twisting paths until they finally saw sunlight at the other end. The trail of paw prints continued, leading them up the grassy slope of the breezy hills. It was a long climb, but they encouraged each other to keep going. "We're almost there," Benny shouted, hopping ahead. At the very top of the hill, they finally found the berry culprits. But it wasn't a scary monster or a grumpy badger. It was a group of tiny, fluffy baby rabbits. They were gathered around the huge pile of berries from the great patch. They weren't eating them, though. They were trying to roll the big, round berries back to their home, but the berries were too heavy. The baby rabbits looked tired and worried, their little noses twitching with effort. One of the baby rabbits saw Benny, Luna, and Momo, and started to cry. "We're sorry," he whimpered. "We just wanted to have our own berry day. But the berries are too big to move." Seeing their sad little faces, Benny's heart melted. He looked at Luna and Momo, and they knew exactly what he was thinking. He smiled warmly at the baby rabbits. "It's okay," Benny said kindly. "Berry Day isn't just about picking berries. It's for sharing." The baby rabbits' eyes lit up. Together, Benny, Luna, Momo, and all the tiny baby rabbits worked as a team. They carefully carried all the berries, basket by basket, all the way back down the hill to the great patch. By the time the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Rabbit World was filled with joy. The berry baskets were overflowing, and every rabbit, big and small, had plenty to share. There was laughter, happy hops, and the delicious smell of berry tarts baking in every burrow. That day, Benny, Luna, and Momo learned a wonderful lesson. That kindness and sharing make every celebration sweeter. And that's the end of our story. Wasn't that a lovely adventure? Remember, being kind is the most magical thing of all. Thanks for listening, little dreamers. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more wonderful stories. See you next time.